Hi, everyone. It's Friday afternoon. It's region weather meteorologist Matt Wentz. A couple things I want to pass along here as of this early afternoon in terms of that evening commute. Kind of want to prepare you for that because we do have some snow coming our way. Another thing to talk about is going to be next week's storm. I want to give you the latest on that. And I'll tell you, 2 o'clock is a great time here in the afternoon because we get the latest model runs. And those are the ones, the 12Z model runs that obviously have the most information if you've been with us long enough. So I want to talk next week's storm, and I want to talk tonight real quick, just to give you the heads up. That way, at least it's on our page, so you can reference that if perhaps you're finishing up work and you're going to be on the commute home here shortly. So hope you're enjoying your Friday, everybody. Here's what we're going to dive into first. This is just so cool to look at. This is the satellite, right? The visible satellite gives us a really good look all the way down to the surface from space. And there's so many features on here. It's just really, really cool. Of note is the lake effect snow band that we have ongoing back towards Chicago. We're seeing some snow in northwest Indiana now as this band continues to shift. Remember, we were saying yesterday it would start west, it would move east slowly throughout the day, and that's what we're seeing now. So that's going to impact our evening rush hour. We'll talk a little bit about that. But you can see that thin line of clouds out over the lake. Really impressive here as that band stretches all the way up towards north central Michigan. How about that? So a pretty well organized band. You can also see how it's kind of getting sheared apart a little bit as well. You can see the wind kind of blowing those clouds off of that main band, and they're blowing it to the south and the east. So that's what's spreading some snow showers in here. The other thing you can see on here, everything that's white on there that's not moving, that's snowpack down on the ground. You can see the imprint and the shadow of area rivers in Illinois, Wisconsin. You can see some of the terrain there heading over towards Iowa. Just a really cool picture of all the ground that's snow covered as well. So that visible satellite this afternoon really is incredible. So in terms of the snowfall that we have falling outside right now, we do have some snow showers starting to make their way into Lake and even Porter County along the lakeshore. You've noticed that snow's kind of ramped up over the last 30 minutes or so. I'm going to zoom in even further so we can take just a little bit closer look at this. You can see the snow that we have. The main band is still back towards Chicago. They picked up anywhere from 4 to 8 inches, probably more in spots. Wilmette checked in at about 8 inches. That was the biggest total so far. But again, there's probably some places that approached a foot of snow. They got it in a hurry, especially out towards O'Hare this morning. That's where that band set up this morning. But it's starting to make its way back. Not expecting it to have quite as much organization as it moves back through the region here over the next couple hours. That being said, though, this thing still stretches all the way up the length of Lake Michigan. So that's got a pretty good fetch. That's what we call that. So it's capable of producing some pretty heavy snow still. And we're seeing that right now just towards our west. Starting to see some of those dark clouds just towards your northwest if you're in East Chicago, the Whiting area. And again, some of that's going to move in. And you see some of the snow that we have moving into areas of Porter County. Portage seeing some flakes right now. There's much heavier snow offshore. So as we go throughout the evening, I'm going to switch this over. We're going to look at some of the modeling here in terms of what can be expected with this. And it's no surprise if you joined us last night on our Region Weather Live. This is no different than that. We're expecting this to kind of breeze from west to east through northwest Indiana here over the next couple hours. It will bring some snow into the area for rush hour. So we may have some slick travel. I don't think it's going to be a huge deal locally, but again, you could get some of those heavier snowfall rates. That puts down a quick half inch or so. That causes problems. So here's what it looks like. You can see as we go through time, I think the NAM Nest has a really good handle on this. Once again, they had a really good handle. If you joined us last night on that switch, remember the models were showing Northwest Lake County, Chicago. And then during our broadcast, we got the new model run in and it shifted everything up towards Wilmette. And once you know it, that's where they got the most snow last night. So I think this has a good handle on this lake effect setup still. You notice how the snow kind of shifts into Lake County over the next couple hours. This is your evening rush hour. It's in Lake, Porter, and northern Newton and Jasper counties, and then eventually heading out towards Porter and LaPorte County later on this evening before quickly winding down as that wind shifts as this high pressure settles in. How much snow are we talking? I would say a general 1 to 3 for Lake Porter and LaPorte counties. A little bit less, maybe a trace to an inch or so, northern Newton and Jasper County as this shifts through. We'll have to keep an eye on some of those more intense bands, but I don't think this gets out of control. I don't think the longevity of this event is going to be a big deal tonight. But more car crashes occur when you have an inch or two of snow versus the big totals. So keep that in mind. things are going to slicken up here this evening as that snow pushes back in. And this is that same lake effect band that's over towards Chicago as it shifts back down towards the region and then eventually off. Okay, so that's what we're dealing with this evening. Tomorrow morning shouldn't be any problems if you have Saturday morning travel plans, not expecting any issues, unless perhaps you're on southwest lower Michigan. They may have some leftover lingering snow there. Okay, let's fast forward to the snow next week. This system continues to look impressive. And the reason why the system's impressive next week, it's not what the Northeast is getting. It's not this huge blockbuster low pressure that creates a massive windstorm, that creates very, very heavy snow and blizzard conditions. That's not what we're going to get. What we're going to get is a low pressure with lots of moisture in it, with a boundary that kind of lingers, and it brings another wave of low pressure in. So basically, we get two systems and an elongated, long duration potential for either snow, ice, or rain, right? So it's kind of a multi-day event because it's two low pressures that kind of take the same track, and it keeps the precip coming, whatever that is. As of right now, it looks like snow. Okay, so here we go. Here's our system this weekend. You see it going up the eastern seaboard. All this action that we've had with the cold air last night is digging that trough down. That's swinging up the storm system on the East Coast. Again, blizzard conditions likely from Boston. The bulk of this is going to be really Massachusetts that gets hit with this, and then southern Maine towards the Portland area. But overall, this is still going to be a very impactful storm. Winds 50, 60, maybe up to 70 miles per hour with this with snow. And they're going to have snowfall rates. If you think our lake effect 1 to 2 inch per hour rates are impressive, there's going to be rates within this system on the 4 to 5 inch per hour. Can you imagine? I've experienced 3 inch per hour thunder snow before, never 4 or 5. I mean, that is so much snow in an hour. I mean, you can't even see. I can't even imagine. But they're going to be dealing with that. We don't deal with that. We deal with the cold off of that, right? Our snow is going to wind down here tonight and tomorrow morning, especially out in Michigan, and then we're not dealing with anything. Weak system glides through Sunday. Again, if you watched us last night, we talked about this. Might be some flurries on Sunday. Doesn't look to be a whole lot to write home about. And then next week, we're talking a Tuesday through Thursday time frame with the storm system. So here's how it develops. We're now into Tuesday morning. There'll be a strong area low pressure coming across southern Canada, not down at us from Canada, but across. So that will lay out a boundary rather than a boundary coming through like last night's cold front. The Arctic front went through, right, and down to the south. This one will come across, so it'll kind of keep that boundary in place. You notice what happens on Tuesday. We start to develop some rain, perhaps. The models, this model right here is the Euro. It's saying a little bit further to the south. Don't pay attention to that. That will kind of mark itself. We're just looking at pattern recognition right now. So we may have some showers in here Tuesday. Temperatures will drop late in the day Tuesday as that cold air settles in, right? That boundary's moving through and settles south. So we're now on the cold side of things by Tuesday night. And then we see this return flow develop out of the Gulf. That will cause the radar to light up like a Christmas tree as that boundary sinks south. Moisture tries to push north in that boundary, and we'll start to see that precip really light up. We're going to be on the cold side of things as it looks right now. So that would mean we would be either snow or ice, probably snow as it looks right now, unless this shifts, but it's been pretty consistent. And watch how this breaks out as we go through the daytime Wednesday, right? This is that next wave of low pressure, boundary settled, low pressure forms, everything kind of comes back at us. That would bring on the northern end of this frontal boundary a strip of some very heavy snow. And it, again, look how much real estate this takes up. This is from Michigan all the way back into Colorado, right? That is a long stretch of snow. There's ice in between where you have warmer air overriding cold air. So you have warm air causing it to rain or sleet, and that falls onto frozen ground. It's going to be a mess wherever this ice sets up. And then it's just plain old rain down to the south. This is Wednesday. Watch how little things change Wednesday night and Thursday. Things stay the same. We're now talking heavy snow, perhaps from Maine all the way back into Colorado. This is a huge elongated storm system, right? By this time, we'll have a strong area low pressure developing down to the south. This could cause some severe weather, I would imagine, down in areas like Mississippi, even Tennessee, along the Gulf Coast. And then there's an ice storm in between. As of right now, the Euro has the ice storm going right through Indianapolis. Again, this could shift. This could shift north. That would bring the ice and rain our way. That can happen, okay? This is not set in stone. It could also stay the same or shift south, and that would keep us in the snow. If it shifts further east, that would take the bulk of the snow away from us. So there's still lots of changes to happen with this, but it's been pretty consistent over the last couple of days. And that's what we look for as meteorologists, is some consistency. And we're certainly seeing that. So that would continue the heavy snow from Wednesday into Thursday. And then eventually we get windy with probably some lake effect or lake enhanced snow Thursday into Friday. That would be a prolonged period of some heavy snow here right across Northwest Indiana before the system finally pulls out and we're stuck in the cold air once again. Beyond that, you could see another system coming at us from the north. That would continue to keep our cold air in place. So any snow we get from that would likely not melt anytime soon. It would stay on the ground for a while. The GFS is very similar to this. I'm going to switch over to that for you. This is the American model now. We'll go through that briefly. And again, when these models kind of align with the same idea, you know they're on to something. What I'm confident about, which I could say with 99% accuracy, is that we're going to have some kind of big storm system Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. What we can't say with accuracy is what exactly precip type we're going to have, although most of the models leaning snow. I get it, but I've seen things change. But you know, it could be ice, and ice is a total different story than snow. It could also be rain. I don't see that happening, but again, it could be. So the GFS has that low coming through. Here comes the precip on the back edge of it. This is Wednesday now, breaking out with some snow. And you notice the latest GFS model bringing the ice in here, right? So a little bit further northernly track for that low, and we'd be talking an ice storm with perhaps rain in our southern counties, right? Then we would go back to ice. Then we would go to freezing rain and snow. And then we'd go to heavy snow on Thursday as the system continues to pull in that cold air. What a doozy and huge impact this system's going to be in terms of ice travel for the entire eastern half of the U.S. for snow where that heaviest snow lines up. It really does look to be a very impactful storm next week. Then we kind of quiet down and another system comes at it from the northwest. That's getting too far in the long range to talk about. All right, so the last thing I want to do, remember last night we talked about how we shouldn't look at numbers. You should never look at numbers at this point, right? It just does us no good to look at how much snow might fall because it's going to change, okay? It is definitely going to change. It always changes. But we're going to do the same thing we did last night. We're going to look at numbers, okay, because it's just fun. So the GFS, remember, GFS had us on the warmer side. It had more ice in here. So that will bring some of that heavier snow a little bit further northwest of us. But as we get into it here, this is Monday. Let me kind of fast forward. Here's Wednesday. This is when it starts. Notice some of these totals coming out of the system. You're learning impact of this, right? This is going to be impactful for somebody. Is it here? Could be, right? But this is spitting out now 22 inches in Chicago of snow. A good 9 to 11 here. Remember yesterday it was like 6 to 8. So that's how these things are going to fluctuate. A good 18, 16 inches off towards our north. Just incredible amounts. Euro had a little bit more snow on us. So you can notice how as we bring that in, that brings the track a little bit further south. The Euro as of this afternoon, again, this is the most accurate model run we have. Just a real light 19 to 31 inches of snow across Northwest Indiana. So that is the potential for this storm. Is that going to happen? Probably not, right? But is this something we really need to keep a close eye on? Absolutely. And we will for sure. So again, this is a Tuesday through Thursday, maybe even Friday timeframe next week. That's going to take up a lot of our week next week. And it's going to keep us busy. I know you're going to want to be busy too, making plans and figuring this out. So certainly going to be an interesting system to watch. And beyond that, we're going to stay cold. So whatever snow we get, again, is going to stick around a little while. Okay. All right. So let's answer some of your questions and then we'll get you on your way here on this Friday. Again, if you missed the top of the broadcast, we are talking about some lake snow moving back in. Heaviest snow right now centered over Chicago, but we're seeing a couple bursts of snow now coming into Lake County and Porter County. And that will continue. The trend will continue. I think 1 to 3 inches should cover it for most of us this evening. But again, the timing of that is going to be that evening rush hour, pretty much from now through evening rush hour, even on into the evening for Porter and LaPorte County as that band shifts east. So a couple inches of snow tonight. Shouldn't be crippling or anything like that, but things could get tricky out there as this band goes through. Okay. All right, let's get some of your questions going. If you have any questions about it, let me know. We'll certainly answer those for you. Ann on our YouTube channel says, this does not look to be fun. I have my grandson's birthday in Indy next Saturday. And the good news is most of this should be out of here by Saturday. So, shopping plans, anything like that, you might want to order if you order online or if you actually go to the store, right? Imagine that. You might want to do that sooner than later for anything. But by Saturday, things should be clearing up. We may likely have a mess on our hands, though. And it takes a little while to get out of these things for sure. Hi, Teresa. Hi, thanks for joining us. And everyone else that's joining us this afternoon. I hope you're enjoying your Friday. I hope you're at work getting paid right now. And you have it on mute or whatever. I don't know. Okay, so we're getting a lot of good questions. Rhonda, you are you are going to be seeing me a lot next week. We'll have lots of updates for you for sure. It definitely looks to be a busy week, a really busy week. So we're on, and I want to get ahead of this, and I want to make sure that most people know at least about the potential next week, even this far out. Debbie, that's a wonderful question. Do you see the snow being wet and heavy or light next week? So Debbie, this would be a wet, heavy snow next week. It would be one of those that if we get enough of the snow, wherever this lines up, let's say that 20 plus inches lines up on us, we would likely have power outages with it as well. Whoever sees this heavy snow will probably have power outages. And the reason why is we're now bringing in Gulf of Mexico moisture, right? That's the change over the last couple systems we've seen go through. It's been the light, fluffy stuff. We've had really cold temperatures. Our temperatures would probably be upper 20s, even low 30s when this moves through. That's why we have the icing problems just to our south or over us. So that would also make it a wetter snow and tough to move around for sure. Chris, I think a general 1 to 3 for LaPorte tonight. I'm not going to even put numbers, although we're looking at them on this storm next week. It's way too early, and it's irresponsible to put any numbers on this whatsoever. So you're probably seeing that map I showed you right there. You're probably seeing that on social media. People are saying 20, 30 inches next week. Click here. Don't click there. Please don't give them their time of day. It's way too early to be saying that, okay? Rhonda, same thing for you. I know everyone wants to know how much snow they're going to get next week. Again, no way to tell. The potential's there for a real good storm that could produce some pretty high numbers for sure. Jimmy's done with the snow. Joe, thanks for the update, buddy. Lake Station bursts right now. Yeah, that little burst of snow is moving through you right now. I think that'll kind of relax for a little bit, and then we'll watch that Chicago band work through. So we'll have more bursts of snow throughout the evening for sure. Maxwell, always looking at the bright side, buddy, for sure. Gaining daylight. Yeah, we're gaining, I think, almost 2 minutes per day right now. You've noticed it. That sunset's changed. Our sunrise is finally starting to get earlier. It's weird. I don't want to get into it, but our sunset starts getting later, like December 12th, before the first day of winter, right? Our longest day of the year, or our shortest day of the year is the first day of winter, right? Winter solstice. And then in terms of our sunset and sunrise times, those don't match up with the first day of winter. So the sunsets have been getting later since December 12th. The sunrises are now getting earlier as of a couple days ago, actually a couple weeks ago. Wow, it's end of January already. So it's kind of interesting. But yeah, we're gaining daylight on both ends now. And thank you for doing that, giving them a heads up on that. Dee's going to be retired looking out the window. Jimmy, yes, Hammond and Whiting. I think you're going to get that Chicago band, so I would put a good 1 to 3 for you as well, and that'll be over the next couple hours for sure. Lori, it's not true. 22 inches. I mean, we were looking at the models. Some of the models said 30 inches, but again, they've done that, they do that all the time, right? They've got a handle on something, but we've got, gosh, how many? Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday? We've got 4 days for the system to sort itself out. And I've seen things go from 20 to 30 inches of snow being predicted to we don't get any of it. Okay. I do think we get something out of this. I do think it's going to be a big storm, but where we end up with, I can't quite say. Kristen getting paid right now. Shh. That's awesome. Yes, Kim, this is an April Fool's joke. Just kidding. Sunny and 70 next week for sure. That's awesome. Oh yeah, Nicole. Yeah, outdoor mall probably. That's even the ice, man. I hope we get, if we had to get snow or ice, I hope we get the snow out of this, because ice is just a mess, right? I don't think anyone enjoys that, because you just can't tell. I mean, you are at the hands of the Department of Transportation, hoping that they salted something, right? For sure. Debbie, you're welcome. Chris, you're welcome as well. Yeah, Mark, I agree with that as well. And Mark, I mean, you've been with me since the beginning, right? Lakeshore Public Television beginning when I was a meteorologist there. And Mark, at that time, we didn't really, our 7-day forecasts weren't really that accurate. Not to date myself, but I'm getting old. The 7-day forecast wasn't that accurate. 5 days, yeah, we had a good handle on it. Now we can see patterns pretty well. The models, every time, every single day, every single hour, they're getting more and more accurate, right? Because they're feeding it with real-time information. So now we can look at an event like this, which is 5 or 6 days out, right? And we can say that's probably going to happen. Whereas before it used to be like, what is this saying? So models are much more accurate. I would say our accuracy up to 7 days is pretty darn good. And I know that because I have forecast sheets. I'll show you here. Forecast sheets left and right where, I'll do the next 10 days and I'll look at day 9 and 10, and it really doesn't change much throughout my forecast as I go. I'm also a meteorologist that loves to check my work as well. A lot of meteorologists don't. If I'm off by a degree or two, I want to know why, and I want to correct that next time. So our forecasts have gotten much more accurate over time. It's really incredible. And of course, we still get, the wrath of people. Everyone on Region Weather is fairly friendly. You don't have to be, that's fine. But we still get people, I wish I would have picked that job. You could be wrong all the time. It's amazing technology and how far we've come that we can even predict the future, right? That we're even talking about this next week. This storm hasn't even formed. The clouds that are going to make this system haven't even formed yet. This is literally a wave of energy way off in the Pacific Ocean. It's amazing what models can do for sure. Jan, thanks for that update in Hobart in the snow right now. Jimmy needs to wash his truck. Brandon asking how much will Dyer get tonight? Probably 1 to 3, Brandon. That's not really going to be tonight. That's going to be pretty soon. The snow's going to be flying around here over the next couple hours, and there's still the lake effect band back in Chicago that will move through. So again, not a huge deal tonight, but probably 1 to 3-ish. Kathy doesn't want snow. Jan agrees, driving in deep snow. Westville tonight, Sharon, probably 1 to 3 as well. I think you're in the same boat. This snow's going to get to you a little bit later in Westville, though. And it'll probably stick around through the overnight as well. Okay. Jackie, we covered it. There's a potential for it, but don't freak out. We've got plenty of time to look at this. And again, it could change for sure. Okay. Bill, absolutely. It's going to be a mess. Sherry Whiting, I think 1 to 3, and that's going to be over the next couple hours. The lake effect's coming back in now, and we'll see how it holds for sure. Linda, I appreciate that. You should believe me more than Chicago stations because they just want you to click on their websites, and I get kind of tired of it sometimes. I'll take that back if I ever work for a Chicago station, but everything's just so hyped, and I hope you guys understand that I have no reason to hype this stuff. Really, it is what it is, right? We can handle a lot here in Northwest Indiana, right? We've been through winter storms before. If it's an easy storm, I'm going to tell you that. And next week's is very interesting. It may not be an easy storm. We'll see, though. Rhonda, you are always so sweet to me. Yep, we got to be patient with the models, right? Linda, thanks for the Portage comment on the snow. Kathy, a lot of dogs will be digging through. There's some really funny dog videos when they first see snow or a deep snow. Carl, Porter County Airport, I think 1 to 3 inches this evening and tonight. We're starting to see a push into Porter County now. We'll probably see that kind of off and on over the course of the evening as that main lake effect heads in, and then it'll be out of here as we get into the early morning hours. So I think 1 to 3 for you tonight. Jeff, there at one point, boy, we were showing 50 degrees. The models were showing 40 or 50 next Wednesday. I think that was like 5 days ago. It had this system further west, and it had some 60 and 50 degree air coming into Indiana. But, happy birthday to you, first of all. But second of all, I don't think we're going to have a 50 next week. Jimmy, one more question, LOL. When is the lake effect that's going through going to be gone? Jimmy, overnight tonight. It'll probably be out of Lake County earlier than that. So my best guess would probably be 10 or 11 for Lake County that it would be out, and then it would be Porter and LaPorte County after that. It could move through quicker than that, but I would give it till probably 10 or 11. You'll know when it's out. You'll see it on radar. It's not going to come back once it leaves. Tony, that's a great question. No, South Bend's going to get some snow tonight. I don't think anything too crazy. I would probably put them in the 1 to 3 category too. The snow will kind of linger in LaPorte over towards South Bend overnight tonight, and that's where it will be tomorrow as it shifts north up into Michigan. Lynn, not quite as much for Crown Point. I think you might squeak out an inch tonight. The lake effect will be moving into your north, but I think by the time it gets to Crown Point, it'll probably be fizzling out a little bit. So I don't think you'll get the strongest bands, but maybe an inch for sure. Okay. And that's asking about Griffith. I'd say 1 to 3 for you as well. That would happen over the next couple hours. McLean, thank you for that. Snowing pretty heavy in Hobart. Yeah, this is that first push of some of that lake effect coming in. And again, this isn't going to last all that long. I think a couple hours of this, but it'll be on and off. It shouldn't be too consistent. It's kind of wobbling back and forth. But that's how we're going to get to our 1 to 3 inches by tonight for sure. Sherry, you're welcome. Absolutely. French Bulldog. That's nice, Danielle. Kathy, you're welcome for sure. Oh, you're new. That's awesome. Thanks, Kathy, for joining us for sure. Yeah, I hope these help. The last thing I want to do is be annoying with posts. I can't stand. I write down all my pet peeves for meteorologists and weather pages and stuff like that, and I try not to do any of those. And I don't ever want to be annoying. I do encourage you to sign up for alerts. Most of you get an alert when we go live, right? I won't go live every single day unless there's something worthy to talk about, but most of you sign up for notifications to alert when Region Weather goes live, and that's how you get on here so fast. So I appreciate that. And again, we don't ever want to abuse that in terms of multiple posts and just going crazy out there, right? But if there's something worthy to talk about, which there is tonight, certainly want to do that. Yeah, Michael, that's okay. Yeah, we talked about this. We looked at the wild numbers, Michael. I'm going to post this on our page afterwards so you can scroll back through and see when we're talking about it. But yeah, some of these numbers, we got 20, 30-inch totals coming out with this storm. But again, we're just going to take that with a grain of salt right now, and we're going to say grain of salt. I don't know if that was a funny winter joke or not, but maybe more grains of salt depending on how much snow we get. But yeah, we're just going to take that, and we're going to say, hey, yeah, decent storm next week, still looks on track. But again, we're not going to look at those totals yet. It's way too early for that. Shar and Lowell, probably not as much. You'll see probably some snow showers as this lake effect moves through. That'll get down towards you. I don't think a lot of snow out of it, though. Maybe an inch at best, kind of the same. So thanks, guys. Janet D, thank you, guys. I appreciate that. And Jenny, thank you as well. You guys are always so great with feedback, so I appreciate that. Okay, get on with your Friday afternoon. A lot of you still working, so you might want to produce a spreadsheet or whatever you guys do. But anyway, I appreciate you joining us this afternoon. I hope that helps. Again, evening rush hour. We are going to have some slick spots as the lake effect moves back through. Cold this weekend, and then we'll moderate a little bit, and then we deal with that big storm system next week. And we will obviously have updates on that as we go throughout the weekend. Okay. Enjoy your Friday night, everybody. And we'll talk to you soon. Okay.